What's up, guys? Project Naosis by Paul Thayer. Today we're going to be focused on episode 0, and I'm going to go through the whole story. I'm going to give you my overall thoughts, things that I liked, things that I find kind of tismy, and give you my overall impression. But before I get into it, if you would, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more spoiler and spoiler-free reviews, as well as just go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I would certainly appreciate that. And now that that's all out of the way, let's just get on into the story. So we open up our story, and it is the year 2090. The world is getting real close to complete and utter peace. We have 3 different nations that don't interfere with one another. I'm not 100% as to how that's possible, but that's not going to matter here in a second anyway, so I'm not going to dig too far in on that. We have the Americas, the European Federation, and the Red Crown. We then cut over to mainstream news as well as like podcaster, just kind of covering all this catastrophic death toll here. We have 34 million people dead in Beijing, and then the European Federation populace lost an additional 5 million people. And the news coverage that we're seeing here does give off some kind of like tribute over there to Spawn, and I thought it was a pretty nice touch. We then shift our focus over to the main character of this episode, Crimson Pain. He is clearly on a mission and in a hurry to do it. He talks about it being time to end it all and time for like a rebirth to start. Pain makes his way up the side of a building, and as he reaches the top, he is stopped by a hero, Axiom. They have an exchange of words, and we find that Crimson Pain was once in alliance with Axiom and the other heroes. And he is also responsible for all the deaths that we just talked about in the European Federation and also in Beijing. Pain explains that what he did was justice, that's what he is doing all of this for, and that the false constructs, or the heroes, need to be destroyed and torn down. And so I think that this is a pretty interesting way to introduce our villain character. You know, we see that he's not just being a villain, he has a mission, and he's doing this for a reason. What this reason is, we're not sure yet, and I think that's something I'm really kind of curious to see what has driven him to do this. Because again, he was once a hero. What made him turn around and just decide killing millions and millions of people was a good idea, and killing all the heroes? The two fight, and Axiom is quickly killed by Pain, and then Pain just moves right on. We then see that he is in the focus of a sniper scope. A couple shots are fired. They miss. One hits. Doesn't do anything. It just kind of goes ping right off of him. But that does allow him to locate who's shooting at him. He goes over, deals with them, and continues back on his way. He then kills several other armed personnel. I'm not 100% certain if this is like police or guards or military. Not 100%. But he kills them really quick and makes his way over to Olympus Hall. And this is a building similar to that of like the Baxter Building or the Avenger Tower or whatever, where the heroes either live at or at least gather before going on to take care of bad guys. So he's there now, and we're going to see what happens. So now that he's inside Olympus Hall, he's attacked by yet another guild member. Guild being kind of the equivalent of like the Justice League or the Avengers or, you know, what have you. This character is like a oily, sludgy heroine. I don't have a name for her. I bet you can guess why. And she gets the better of Crimson Pain. They continue to battle and tell each other essentially that they're evil, and then we just kind of cut away as Pain pulls out his guns and starts shooting. We now draw our focus over to the Hall of Titans, where we see Odysseus and the Prime Minister talking. Now, the Prime Minister he's in panic mode right now. He's so worried that what happened in Beijing and the European Federation is going to happen here in the Americas. And he's kind of frustrated with Odysseus, who he feels is not taking it that serious. Odysseus tells him to just relax, calm down, and that he won't allow anything to happen to the Prime Minister or the city for that matter. And that's when Pain comes in with the head of the former hero and basically just is like, "You want to bet on that?" So Pain just chucks the head over at Odysseus, and Odysseus just zaps it right out of the air. And I I kept feeling every time I saw that part, I'm like, man, that's kind of it's a little cruel there. That was your like friend or ally or whatever, and you just zapped her fucking head like it was nothing. So going back to it now. Pain then attacks Odysseus, but is dodged and countered. Odysseus beats the fuck out of Pain, and he's just calling him like worthless. Now Pain recovers. He doesn't take kindly to being called worthless. He then shoots Odysseus, but this has no effect. So then Pain says, "All right, well, let's see if you can withstand my blade." Odysseus is unable to do so, and Pain then calls Odysseus a false god. Pain then stabs Odysseus before he is countered by Odysseus. He slams Pain into the ceiling and throws him through the window, where Pain falls several stories and crashes into the street. Now there's a brief sigh of relief from the Prime Minister, but if you've seen enough Dragon Ball Z, you know you should never celebrate too early, because of course Pain is not dead. He crawls out of the street crater and runs back up that building. So now the Prime Minister is freaking out again, tries to talk Odysseus into shaking off his injuries and get back into the fight, but it's too late. Pain rips Odysseus' head off in similar fashion to like Kratos from God of War, or like Mortal Kombat, pick a character, and then flaunts the remains of the fallen hero to the Prime Minister before then turning his entire focus over to the Prime Minister. He retrieves the eye from him. He just plucks it right out of the skull. Of course, he kills the Prime Minister in doing this. He uses the eye to scan himself into a room that has like some sort of reactor. It just kind of reminded me a little bit of Zordon from Power Rangers. And instead of like a face, we have like a neutron or whatever the hell that is. He sets up bombs all around it and blows it up along with the rest of Olympus Hall. Pain is now satisfied with his mission being completed. He is now ready to start a new beginning, or a new era of pain. So our story ends with our new team of heroes rising from the ashes of the fallen ones. We are introduced to Project Naosis, a team comprised of soldiers given a serum that gives them all superpowers. Their mission is to rid the planet of crimson pain by any means necessary. So we have Omega, Hellkate, Prince Hero, Thorn, and Hybrid. So no subplots at this moment, but maybe a half-assed theory that what drove Crimson Pain to flip from a good guy to a bad guy is perhaps he found some corruption within the government, that maybe he and the rest of the heroes are being used as weapons against the people. Perhaps. I mean, I'm just really just pulling that out of thin air, you know. But that's all I got right there. So some of the things I really liked in here were, like with Crimson Pain, he does not stop. You know, he is a man on a mission. He killed like a former ally and friend. Doesn't even take time to reflect on that. He just keeps going. And I like this motivated villain. I think he's really, really interesting. The other thing I really, really liked is the dialogue bubbles all being done in different manners, whether it's color or design. Makes it really easy for me to tell who's talking, especially when you get into like the heavier dialogue sections. Very, very easy to figure this out and just keep on going with the flow. So I really appreciated that. So no major tisms going on here, just a slight nitpick. I just kind of wonder if it would have been just a little bit better for him as far as accomplishing his mission, and if he would have just snapped the Prime Minister's neck and then held up the head to scan in as opposed to actually digging out the eyeball. Other than that, I mean, I find nothing here that would break my immersion whatsoever. This was a very enjoyable, Although a little depressing story here, all your heroes are dead. But at least we get some new heroes there towards the end. So there's no nudity in this one, but there is plenty of blood and gore, people being dismembered all over the place. So as far as ratings are concerned, I would give it like a teen to mature area. Again, you're the parent. Use your discretion as you see fit. That's just what I would recommend at this moment. But if you like things like God of War or Mortal Kombat, and you like the brutality in those things, then this is definitely right up your alley and you should check it out. I will be providing a link in the description as to where you can get it. But that's all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.